Which is your favorite new atheist opus? Harris, Hitchens, Dennett, Dawkins, other, question mark? Richard Dawkins is a genius, in my ever so humble opinion. A lot of people love The God Delusion. I cannot blame them. I think it's a wonderful book. I've heard a lot of people say The Selfish Gene was one of the books that kicked them out of their theism. I have to agree it's a wonderful book. However, The Blind Watchmaker is my own personal favorite Dawkins book. And I think he is one of the leading minds in anti-theism today. I'm very happy to have stumbled across his work. Carl Sagan is also highly inspirational to me, as is Stephen Hawking. This is the second part of your question. What is your favorite old-school atheist work? Russell, Ingersoll, Dolbach, Spinoza, Flew, George Smith, etc. Why I Am Not a Christian by Bertrand Russell. I read that essay when I was 21, I believe. Well after I was an atheist myself, but I just loved how succinct and how clear it was. Anyways, I'm kind of rambling on that, but yeah, Why I'm Not a Christian by Bertrand Russell. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Jabo Kelt writes, as an atheist, aren't you afraid of that banana you're eating? He also writes, why do so many people think that observation of life on this planet demonstrates intelligent design? Does this reveal a poorly educated populace in regards to evolution, mass religious-based denial of reality, or is the average person really just that easily confused and stupid? What were the options he gave me? Poorly educated populace in regards to evolution. I certainly think that is true. Having heard so many straw men being tossed at me like rocks turning into people or monkeys turning into people, you know, I thought these people were joking, but apparently that's what they really believe evolution is, which really frightens me. So clearly we do need to clean up our education. But, you know, I think people are more often than not willfully ignorant, because it strikes me that to have a belief that ridiculous about a scientific theory would mean that not only has no one tried to reach you about it, but you simply plugged your ears and said, nah, 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 I can't hear you. You have to be willfully ignorant to be that ignorant. So I think it goes beyond poor education. I think that may indeed play a role, because if one is never properly taught what evolution is, how can one understand it? But more often than not, I think these people probably have just been taught to close their ears and their minds to science. Probably by their parents, unfortunately. Mass religious-based denial of reality, well, that certainly occurs as well. Every time we hear about the Virgin Mary appearing on a grilled cheese sandwich, that's all I can think of, denial of reality. Or is the average person really just that easily confused and stupid? Well, I will admit my opinion of humanity fluctuates from day to day depending on my experiences. Some days I'm more misanthropic than others. However, I really am quite fond of humanity. I'm a fan of man, as Al Pacino said in The Devil's Advocate. I share Gene Roddenberry's very bright view of a possible future. Call me crazy, but I would like to believe in a future like that for humanity. That being said, if you watch the Penn and Teller Bullshit special on the Bible, one of their guest speakers, I cannot recall, he may have been the publisher of Skeptic Magazine, Michael Shermer. I don't remember if it was him or not, though. But one of their guest speakers had said,
smart people are very good at rationalizing things they came to believe for non-smart reasons.
Which was so excellent, because honestly, I've said this for a long time and I stand by it. Your metaphysical beliefs, or lack thereof, have absolutely nothing to do with how intelligent you are. There are many intelligent people who happen to be theists, and believe me, I've met my fair share of dumbass atheists too. There seems to be a correlation between intelligence and atheism, and that would make sense, since the more learned somebody is in the ways of the scientific method, the more critical one becomes of the things that one was taught, and the less one simply accepts the reality as presented to them. That makes sense. The more questioning you are, the more apt you are to drop some of the beliefs, especially the ones that have little to no evidence to support them. It only makes sense. But we can't blame people for holding on to that, because if people want to believe something, more often than not, they're going to find a way to convince themselves that it's true. The opposite is also true. If people are afraid of believing something, they will probably be able to convince themselves it's true. That's just the way that our minds work. Robert Louis IR, Infrared, asks, what are your views on Jesus as a historical character? Well, that Jesus certainly was a character. I assume you're asking me, do I think that Jesus actually existed? I do. I have no real evidence to support that, but I'm willing to go that far. I'm willing to give up that much ground and concede that there may have been a guy, kind of a Gandhi-like figure, who may have been named Jesus or Jesus or whatever. I think it's certainly possible he existed. That's not beyond the realm of possibility. So I tend to think, yes, why not? But was he the Son of God? Seeing as I don't think God existed, probably not. I think the life of Brian is actually a fairly probable account of the whole Messiah thing. Question 2 from Robert Louis IR. If we are wrong and end up going to hell, will you help me start up an underground ice cream shop? You betcha! Ice cream in hell? It's so hot down there. We'll live like kings! Like kings! And question 3 from Robert Louis IR. What do you think is the most effective method for fighting against irrationality? Well, that is a very good question. I think education and science is really the best way.
I would love to have the faith to believe that it took place in 7 days, but I have thoughts. And that can really fuck up the faith thing. Just ask any Catholic priest. And then there are fossils. Whenever anybody tries to tell me that they believe it took place in 7 days, I reach for a fossil and go, fossil. And if they keep talking, I throw it just over their head. There are people who believe that dinosaurs and men lived together, that they roamed the earth at the same time. There are museums that children go to in which they build dioramas to show them this. And what this is, purely and simply, is a clinical psychotic reaction. They are crazy. They are stone cold fuck nuts. I can't be kind about this, because these people are watching the Flintstones as if it were a documentary.